might seem like I'm always at my desk, but honestly, I'm only really there when I'm streaming, making videos, or taking calls. Generally speaking, I like to work from the couch. Not this couch, there's another matching one on the other side, but the background is nicer, so we're gonna pretend, okay? I think the story of how I went from an i3 Linux window management multi-monitor nerd to just sitting on the couch with my laptop is an interesting one. I got into Linux very early. I enjoyed Macs and I was specifically really into Hackintosh, but most of the time I was in Linux doing crazy customized setups, doing almost all my code from there, and used Windows for playing games. When I got my first internship at Amazon, I went out of my way to make a working Linux image, which wasn't easy at the time. Didn't have a super productive summer, but I had my setup the way I liked it, a laptop that could plug into 3 monitors, SSH to big machines, and generally the cool nerdy way to code, especially for backend dev. Things changed. Things changed quite a lot. When I started using my MacBook more in college, I found myself loving macOS. Obviously, I was most comfortable on my setup when I got home, plugging it into 2 monitors and having my fancy keyboard and trackpad and mouse and all that. The real big shift happened for me when I got my first job at Twitch. And my first manager, Waba, he coded a bit different from what I had seen. He was an absolute wizard. He was the only reason we were using Elixir at Twitch at the time. I was enamored by how effective he was at just opening his laptop and delivering code. The thing that surprised me the most is how few tools he used. He had 2 monitors. He'd occasionally plug in one of them, but usually didn't bother. He would just sit there on his laptop, full screen his code editor, make some changes, command tab to his full screen browser, and see if it worked or not. He really didn't bother with all the fancy window management stuff that I'd loved my whole life. All the tmux, all the i3, all the crazy window management Vim, just threw it all away in favor of a boring Sublime Text install and a boring terminal and a boring browser. Just command tab between them. I was absolutely blown away. It just did not seem possible that somebody could be that effective without using any productivity tools or anything to make them more efficient. But he was fast, and I decided to try it myself. And what I found was moving a lot of those tools out of the way made me more effective. And I'm still genuinely shocked at that. I did not think I would be able to move faster, but it makes you focus on the thing you're doing. It might be that I'm easily distracted, but it's probably the ADHD. Regardless, I found it so much easier to just sit there and code when there was nothing else around, when I couldn't have a YouTube video up in another monitor or have Slack pinging distracting me all the time. When I had just one thing open on my tiny little 14-inch screen, it was so much easier to not get distracted. And I've been surprised to learn that there's a lot of 1 monitor people that you might not have guessed, like Primogen. He only uses 1 monitor when he works. Obviously, when streaming, he has to use 2. I use 3. When you're just sitting there writing code and you want to focus and get stuff done, multiple displays, fancy setups, even the desk itself, I found it all to be a distraction. My best code is written sitting right here. Maybe your fancy setup isn't that necessary, but what's important is find a thing that makes it easy for you to focus and get your work done. This works for me, and it might not be what people expected from someone known for shouting at the computer from their desk. Let me know where your favorite place is to code in the comment section. If you want to hear more about my setup and why I keep things so simple, I have a video all about that pinned in the corner here. Thank you guys as always. Peace, nerds.